Sasamahan kita kahit isang eroplano ang agwat nating dalawa. Dahil kung nakakapagsalita lamang ang paliparan, ikukwento niya kung ilang beses akong lumingon pabalik sa'yo nung araw na ako'y lumisan. Papalubog ang araw noon at dahan-dahan lumulubog din ang puso ko sa kalungkutan. Ayaw sana kitang iwan. Gusto kitang samahan. Sa mga umagang nagmamadali ka papasok sa eskwela. Gusto kitang damayan sa mga gabing nahihirapan ka sa matematika. Gusto kitang yakapin sa tuwing gusto mo nang sumuko dahil akala mo'y wala kang talento sa pagpinta. Ngunit anak, gusto kong ipaalam sa'yo na ikaw ang nagpinta ng buhay ko. Nang dumating ka, naging makulay ang mundo ko. Ang dating mga baluktot na linya ay naging tuwid. Ang dating madilim na larawan ay nabigyan ng liwanag. Kaya anak, gusto pa rin kitang samahan sa bawat mong karanasan, sa mga tagumpay at kabiguan. Sasamahan kita hanggang marating mo ang mga ulap, hanggang maabot mo ang iyong mga pangarap.
Hello, Ma?
Hello anak, sorry kakatapos lang ng trabaho ni Mama.
Okay lang po, Ma. Kakatapos lang din naman po namin maglaro.
Mukhang nandyan ka ulit sa paborito mong lugar ah. O sige, ready ka na ba? Punta ka na sa DepEd Commons. Math tayo ngayon ha. Saan na nga ulit tayo nahinto kahapon? Sa problem solving na, di ba? Anak, sasamahan kita. Kahit isang eroplano ang agwat nating dalawa.
Kristanos! Sakay mo ako! Kristanos!
kagustuhan, pangat na inaasam, di mapipigil ni numan. Maaabot lahat ng iyong inaasam, kasipagan ng sagot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan, edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan. Please! Ating pilipanin, aming papagilin, ating tatawin, anong manasa ay muling tatanawin. Kitang bukasan pa o bayin, pilitin mo gawin, gustusan pagsisikap, pag-asa ay yakapin, edukasyon ng kayamanan at kahit di naman, isang pangarap ang tutupad, magsisikapan ng lahat. Gustusan pagsisikap, kaya mo yun, kaibigan, magbubuo isang pangarap.
To everyone, tune in to the official Facebook page of DepEd Angeles, especially to the muses and queens. Magandang buhay po. Welcome to our Purple Tuesday. Proclamation number 227, series of 1998, provides for the observance of the month of March as Women's Role in History Month, while Republic Act 6949, series of 1990, declares March 8 of every year as International Women's Day. DepEd Angeles joins the whole nation in the National Women's Month celebration with the theme, Agenda ng Kababaihan, Tungo sa Kaunlaran. The National Women's Month celebration theme from 2017 to 2022 is We Make Change Work for Women, which highlights the empowerment of women as harbingers of change that is anchored on malasakit at pagbabago. To cap the 6-year recurring theme, the 2022 NWMC will focus on the sub-theme, Agenda ng Kababaihan Tungo sa Kaunlaran. It will be a celebration of women exercising their choices, making their voices heard, and trailblazing changes. Today, we shall honor and celebrate every woman and man of the land as health and wellness. Embrace the celebration through a health forum. With no further ado, let us start the ball rolling. To all Juanas and Juans, a gorgeous and empowered morning. We are streaming into the digital sphere via Facebook Live, broadcast at DepEd Tayo Angeles City official FB page. Let us all together pay homage to our native land through the Philippine National Anthem. This will be followed by the blessing and favor of the Divine Almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, the Philippine National Anthem pursued by our prayer for this day.
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ayaw magiging tayo sa silanganan, alam ng puso sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, dulot ka ng magiging sa manlulupi, di ka masisingil sa naganang tulog sa sigaw at sa dami mong bahag. May ginanang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y tagumpay na naglilimig. Ang bituin na araw ng kailang pamalimalig. Lupa ng araw ng 100% mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang higaya ng pagpay makahamit ang mga tayo ng natin sa'yo.
Sikoy ko kamighimu tolangit. Sikoy ko kamighimu to aldo woy bulan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kabituunan. Ikaw ang nagbuhat sa kalibutan. Manama, mawantog ka. Warag po ko ilingkoy ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شمل المسلمين والكريستيان واللومد في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the light of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mawantog ka. Warpo ko iling ko'y ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Objectives Health define goals, identify conflicting activities, and of course, guide elements of the decision-making process and ensure accountability of personnel within an organization. So for today, let us now state our objectives. So the objectives of this health forum, first, to provide knowledge and address risk factors of cancer in the context of COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, the second is to facilitate the discussion on the awareness and prevention of breast cancer among women and prostate cancer among men personnel. And the last one is to promote cancer prevention measures for a healthy living, thus making every personnel an active herald of change towards the attainment of organizational goals. So that those are our objectives for this morning's health forum. I know everybody is very excited for today's health forum. We are actually observing or having a different kind of Women's Month celebration, ladies and gentlemen, because today, SDO Angeles focuses on the health and wellness of all its personnel. Because if you are not healthy, you can never place your best foot forward on the job. So let us start. The health of families and communities are no doubt tied to the health of women and of men as well. Her health and his health also greatly affect the household economy. Thus, the health of men and women in the household should be a matter of great concern. More so, men and women bear exclusive health concerns. For the men, we have unique issues as well, such as prostate cancer and benign prostate enlargement. For the men, their exclusive issues, we have the breast cancer, cervical cancer, menopause, and pregnancy. We are so blessed today because one of the best speakers in this particular health issues is going to join us, and he will specifically discuss on prostate cancer for men. Before we give him to you, please allow me to introduce him. Our resource speaker for this morning is a well celebrated resource speaker because he has traveled literally the whole wide world being a resource speaker in neurology. In 2016, he talked on minimally invasive surgery in Tokyo Women's University in Tokyo, Japan. And then 2019, he also talked on this matter or on this topic in New Delhi, India. And the same year, he also talked on percutaneous nephrostomy at Apollo Hospital under Dr. S.K. Pal, again in New Delhi, India. Our resource speaker for this morning is a fellow in Philippine Urologic Association, a fellow Philippine College of Surgeons, and a diplomate Philippine Board of Urology. We were discussing earlier, he was with us, and we are so blessed to learn so many things about him. We also heard that he also has different outreaches, both for men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you are all very excited to hear, to listen, and to learn more about this dreaded disease called prostate cancer among men, because we all have special men in our lives. Without further ado, I give to you the brilliant, the dashing, the well-celebrated urologist of the city, Dr. Rafael L. Lissing. Dr. Ralph, the doctor.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Ma'am Marcela. Good morning. It is my privilege to speak in front of learned individuals of DepEd and FB viewers virtually, and I hope you would learn a lot and familiarize yourselves with what I'm going to present and share to your relatives and friends. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm going to discuss about the prostate facts and frequently asked questions. So this is my outline. Prostate myths and facts, prostate anatomy and function, symptoms of prostate problems, most common conditions and treatment options for the benign prostatic hyperplasia or the prostate cancer and prostatitis, and the frequently asked questions. Okay, for the myth, it is normal to have urinary and prostate problems as you get older. And the fact, next slide, please. Actually, the prevalence of urinary stones and urinary and prostate problems increases with age, but this is not necessarily normal, and that the treatment regimens are always there with the help of your doctor. Next slide, please. So again, some say if I ignore the problem, it will go away. Actually, next slide. Urinary problems usually have an underlying organic cause. If you don't do anything, it will not go away definitely. Next slide. Another myth, all urinary problems require surgical intervention. The truth, next slide, not all urinary problems require surgery. There are newer treatment options, including medications that are available. Next slide. So, do I have a prostate? What is the prostate gland? Of course, the prostate gland is a male organ. Next slide. It resembles a walnut that surrounds the urethra just below the urinary bladder. Here. Next slide. So what does the prostate do? It produces an antimicrobial substance for the seminal vesicle fluid like zinc, and produces several proteins with various functions, contributing approximately 1.5 to 2 ml of total seminal fluid volume. Next slide. So what are the symptoms of prostate problem? We have weak urine stream, intermittency, nocturia, straining to urinate, urgency, residual urine, and frequency. Next slide. So this is a picture of man having weak stream or a decrease in the caliber of urine flow. Next slide. Intermittency, there's an on and off urine flow. Next slide. Some would experience nocturia or frequent urination during nighttime, and this is the most common symptom, prompting patients to seek consult in our office. Next slide. So we have another symptom, straining to urinate. Next slide. The urgency or the feeling of wanting to void immediately. Next. The residual urine after urination. Next slide. And lastly, the frequency. Next slide. So I don't have for one of the frequently asked question, I don't have any of these symptoms. Do I still need to see a doctor for prostate checkup? Well, my obvious answer is yes, since some prostate conditions, such as cancer, can present asymptomatically. Next slide. How is a prostate examination done? We do a DRE or digital rectal exam, of course, with our gloves on and with plenty of KY jelly. I usually do my rectal exam in patient na nakatuhad. With usually take note of the consistency, shape, estimated size, and presence of pain, which are very important findings in our digital rectal exam. Next, please. Picture showing, sorry, it's malabo. Picture showing urologist doing DRE to the patient. Next slide. So prostatic specific antigen or PSA is an important laboratory parameter for regular prostate checkups. I tell usually my patient this is like a prostate cancer screening. Next. Imaging studies like kidney, ureter, bladder, prostate ultrasound, and sometimes MRI are also important but are not routinely done. Urine test, though, is usually requested. Next slide. And now let me discuss the most common prostate problems. These are the benign prostatic hyperplasia, the prostate cancer, and the prostatitis. Next. In BPH, the prostate gland compresses this area, making it hard for the patient to urinate, causing signs and symptoms mentioned earlier. Next slide. In benign prostatic hyperplasia, there's an enlargement of the prostate gland. Remember, it's benign, not a cancer, not a malignant. However, it may cause significant urinary problems and even renal problems if ignored. Next. So what are the consequences of ignoring BPH? So these are the complications if you ignore the symptoms. We have recurrent urinary tract infections, we have blood in the urine, we have bladder diverticulum, which is the outpouching of bladder wall, or in layman's term, loss in the pantog. Okay, we have urinary stones, urinary retention, and at worst, kidney failure. Next, please. So these are the pictures. Okay, pictures. The urinary stones in the bladder. You can see they're like eggs inside the nest. Next slide, please. This is my actual patient who presented with difficulty in urination and with blood in the urine. Of course, before I do my operation, cystoscopy, ultrasound was requested. There were note of 3 big stones inside the urinary bladder. And this is what I saw upon cystoscopy. Next slide. Another picture of mine, another picture of my patient. Okay, patient came to me who reported to me of not urinating for more than 24 hours. Take note of the distended urinary bladder. The patient is like a pregnant woman. Okay, slide. So how is BPH treated? Will I need surgery right away? The answer, of course, is no. If symptoms are mild, we usually observe patient and advise them of lifestyle modification. If symptoms are moderate and bothersome, we give patients medications such as alpha blockers that would relax the prostate muscle and bladder neck, and 5 alpha reductase inhibitors such as finasteride and dutasteride. These drugs would help reduce prostatic size. You also advise, patients to avoid the caffeinated beverages like coffee, teas, alcoholic drinks, and excessive fluid intake prior to bedtime. Next, please. Treatment options for surgical interventions are open resection, endoscopic resection like TURP, or laser ablation or nucleation, and minimally invasive therapy like thermotherapy or TUMT. Next, please. So this picture is an open prostatectomy, the procedure that you open up the abdomen of the patient. Okay, the picture on the left showing finger of the surgeon trying to get the whole lobe of the prostate in open prostatectomy procedure. Actually, the right picture, this is the actual prostate specimen. Next slide. So this is how is TRP done. Just to give you an idea, the urologist, although this picture is an old picture already, we already use the monitor so that we won't be operating near the patient, direct vision. Okay, we are now using the camera system. Next slide. Nowadays, we use instead of the so-called TURP, the transurethral resection of the prostate gland I mentioned earlier. Now we are using laser surgery through holmium laser or the thulium laser we have now in our center. Next slide. Now let me move to the next common disease of the prostate, the formidable one, actually, the prostate cancers. This is the second most cancer and 5th leading causes of cancer deaths worldwide. The prevalence increases with age. Early prostate cancer may have no symptoms. That is why this disease is very alarming. Next. So this picture shows the frequent location of prostate cancer. Fortunately, it arises on the part where on the part of the gland where we can palpate. it through the digital rectal exam, so we can take note of the tumor even if it's still small. Okay, next slide. So since prostate cancer is one of the one of the important diseases that we have to avoid, we have to have enough knowledge of the etiology. Okay, the inherited risk is as high as 60%. Family history of father and brother with prostate cancer increases the risk for prostate cancer. Studies have shown frequent infection also and inflammation may lead to the development of prostate cancer, although this needs further studies. Next. Obesity is also associated with high-grade prostate cancer based on studies, and smoking also known to increase the risk of recurrence and death caused by prostate cancer. Next. For the prevention and early detection of prostate cancer, early screening techniques like prostatic specific antigen or the PSA, which I usually tell my patient the prostate cancer screening, along with digital rectal examination for patient 45 years old and as early as 40-year-old for those with family history of prostate cancer is highly recommended. Imaging like MRI of prostate is now being done as part of the screening once patient has an abnormal PSA value. Next. So the treatment for prostate cancer, okay, depends on the stage of the disease. If we catch the patient early, the better. Radical surgery offers cure. While if we catch patient in advanced stage, curative surgery is no longer an option, but only palliation. I have so many patients who came to me with their prostate in advance already, so I cannot offer anymore with the surgery. Okay, I can only treat them. I can only prolong their lives through giving them medical therapies, medical treatments. We can offer a lot. Depends on the stage of the advanced prostate cancer. Okay. So this is the last disease that I can discuss today. The prostatitis. It can be acute, which is always associated with UTI. Symptoms include fever, chills, and pain in the area of perineum, commonly seen among sexually active males. Okay, prostatitis can also be chronic. Exact cause is still unknown, and symptoms may persist over time. Next. So this picture shows the inflamed prostate gland here. Next slide. So treatment for prostatitis can be medical, like good antibiotic coverage and pain relievers. At times, you also give alpha blockers for the symptomatic relief of patients. We do surgical drainage if it is necessary for the presence of abscess. In case of chronic prostatitis, treatment is usually prolonged and the patient should be quite patient. Okay. So now we come to the frequently asked questions. I'm only 45 years old and I don't feel anything. Do I need to have my prostate examined? A prostate examination is recommended for men, as was mentioned before, annually starting at 45 years old of age, earlier at age 40 if with family history. The reason for this is to detect early prostate cancer even if you are asymptomatic. Next. I'm only 30 years old, but I urinate even at night. Frequently, even at night. Do I have prostate problem? Not necessarily. These are diseases. There are diseases actually other than prostate problems that can manifest as frequent urination. These are overactive bladder, diabetes mellitus, and even UTI can make you urinate frequently. Have this checked. Next slide. I have urinary symptoms and was advised by a friend to take more fluids. Is this okay? But remember, anything in excess is bad, including excessive fluid intake. Excessive fluid intake can aggravate your symptoms, especially if you have a prostate problem. Always consult your doctor. Next. I have frequent daytime and nighttime urination. What may aggravate my symptoms? Well, again, caffeine, alcohol-containing fluids, and even decongestants and diuretics can make you urinate more. Consult your doctor before taking any of this. Does buko juice really help improve my urinary symptoms? I have personal experiences in dealing with my patient. They frequently ask me about this. Some would drink boiled guyabano leaves. Some would drink boiled pandan or mitla, etc. Actually, there's no clinical evidence to support therapeutic effectiveness of these organic and herbal concoctions. Okay. Furthermore, increased fluid intake in general can aggravate the symptoms. Consult your doctor for proper medication. Next slide. Aside from my prostate medications, what else can I do to minimize frequent urination, nocturia, or frequency at daytime? Avoid caffeine and alcohol. Okay. Regulate your fluid intake. Minimize fluid intake late in the afternoon and in the early evening. Have your last glass of fluid after dinner. Make sure that you urinate before going to bed. Next. If I improve with my medication, do I have to take them for life? Well, actually, if you have benign prostatic hyperplasia, medications will relieve your symptoms. Once you stop, symptoms may recur. It's just like diabetes and hypertension. BPH is a chronic condition. You will need to maintain your medications as prescribed by us. Okay. Next slide. So in summary, we have to remember the prevalence of prostate problems increases with age. Digital rectal examination is the simple test or the simplest test that can be done at the doctor's office to determine if you have prostate problems. Don't be afraid. It's not painful. Okay. Prostate problems should not be ignored. There are serious complications, like was mentioned before. Remember, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Always consult your urologist. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Doc Raf. That is indeed very substantial and very helpful. We've learned so much, especially we also have our special men in our lives, our husbands. Di ba, Doc, when it comes to prevention and early detection, men's health often takes a backseat compared to women's health. Po, as we statistically, see statistically, men pay less attention to their health other compared to women. I should know, no po? Men, men are the ones more likely to lead. Yes, Doc?
Some would, majority of men kasi they're sometimes reluctant to go to doctors. They have this
Correct.
macho image kasi, and I admit some would they're little usually mas matapang ang babae sa lalaki when it comes to diseases.
Yeah, very true. And Doc, men are the ones more likely to lead a less healthy lifestyle, if you don't mind me saying po. Apologies to our men viewers. Right?
Yeah, I think yeah, majority, I mean in general, but well, I beg to disagree.
Okay po.
I have so many. Actually, ako I'm into sports, and well, the bottom line here siguro is as early as, I mean, you have to teach your children habang bata pa sila to be health conscious actually.
Correct.
Kung
And just like
nakikita
what
ka
you've said,
nilang, yeah,
yes.
kung nakikita ka nila ma'am na you smoke, you drink
Mm-hmm.
a lot,
Correct.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you're not exercising, the chances are yun din ang gagawin nila.
Yeah, and do not neglect if you are already feeling something mysterious, right, Doc? And do
Yes,
not self-medicate.
actually, we keep on reminding our male patients, okay,
Yes.
even if you don't have any symptoms, especially
Mm-hmm.
if you have family history, as early as 40-year-old, you have to
Mm-hmm.
go to your urologist for the DRE. The digital rectal exam and the PSA po is a power. It's really powerful tool to detect early prostate cancer.
And of course, we have to trust our doctors because they know best, right?
Mm-hmm, yes, thank you.
Doctor, to all our viewers who are tuned into the Dep and Angeles official Facebook page, our very generous Doc Rav, will be entertaining some questions. So if you have anything to ask, his specialty is prostate cancer, all about prostate cancer and benign prostate diseases, right, Doc? So if you have any questions, please shoot them in so that we could address them right away. The time of Doc is very precious. We've heard earlier po that he is supposed to be in his clinic and in the hospital attending to some of his patients, but he joined us this morning for this special
Mhm.
celebration, Women's Month celebration. Do we have questions po among our viewers? If you would like to ask our authority for this special topic, you are more than welcome po to shoot your question. Ma'am
It's
Ida?
and it's free po. It's free.
Yeah. It's free. Do you also offer free online consultations, Doc Raf?
If you're going to tell me I don't have any money, I'm gonna give you free consultation.
Wow, that's so sweet. That's so nice. And your talk alone this morning already answered most of our queries with regards to prostate, di ba po? Especially if
Mhm.
we have male loved ones who disregard their health. No po, yung hindi
Yeah.
sila masyadong particular to going to the doctors, having, especially, kasi po you are specializing on a special organ. That is, sometimes men are shameful or shy to have this special organ checked by an authority who is a doctor like you, di ba po?
Yeah,
Special,
that's true.
yeah, especially if,
When it comes to that thing, ma'am, the when it comes to erectile dysfunction, they are really shy. Okay,
yeah.
minsan is going to tell you something. He's going to tell you something. He's going to consult you something else, and then before he leaves, he's going to mention something like, "Oh, Doc, yung palang ganito, something like that." So we understand naman.
At saka po, especially if the men are sexually active, they will never go to
Yeah,
professional
that's good.
clinic po.
That's the macho effect that I'm telling you. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true. The macho effect.
Doc,
Mm,
thank you po. Doc, we have a question here from Ma'am Barbara
sure.
Umali. Wow! What is your clinic hours, Doc? I think Ma'am Barbara has plans of visiting you. And where? Where is your clinic situated, Doc Raf?
Actually, Ma'am Barbara Umali is a friend of my wife.
Wow!
Actually,
Ma'am Barbara.
Ma'am Barbie, yeah. Kumusta na ka? Ma'am Barbie, I trimmed down my schedule since pandemic. I usually hold
Mhm.
my clinic Tuesday, Thursday at Garcia, okay, 2 to 4 p.m. At St. Raphael daw, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 to 12.
Okay, I think just Ma'am Barbara has a follow-up question, Doc, if
Actually,
you
what
don't
these
mind.
guys can
Usually,
have possible prostate cancer. Yeah,
what?
if you have this, you know what, Ma'am Marcela,
Yes po.
I the youngest patient I saw, it's really just 24 years old.
Oh!
And
So young.
and for me that is a reportable case, okay?
Yeah.
Uh at 24 years old when I saw him, workups done, okay, biopsy done, and he he was really in the advanced prostate cancer already.
Oh.
Okay, usually at what age? It depends. That's the earliest I catch is 24 years old, and then usually the average on the 66 on the 60 year old,
Senior
usually the
citizens.
the average.
Doc, if you don't mind me asking, what do you think is the probable cause of that 24-year-old patient that you had? How
Uh,
come at a very young age he already experienced such a dreadful disease? What do you think
well,
is the probable
actually,
cause of that?
it's really on the genes. Okay, it's a
Yeah.
mutation on the genes. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really believe that guy got this prostate cancer on the environmental factors.
All right.
It's a
So
gene
the
mutation pa rin.
gene, okay.
Mm.
So his lifestyle doesn't really
Nope,
affect.
nope.
Okay.
It's just young guy. It's a young boy, 24 years old.
Okay, so that's good news for our young ones who are in tune. But don't abuse your health because nowadays health is really the true wealth. Correct, Doc?
Yeah,
Do you have any more
agree.
questions? Anyone else pa who would like to ask our very generous Doc?
You
Because,
can,
yeah,
yes, your questions, please.
yes, because he is, ngayon lang po libre ito, bukas may bayad na.
Yeah, mamaya may bayad na yan sa clinic
Oh,
ko.
so, and don't forget to take note of his clinic hours and his clinic locations. So po.
Yeah.
Sabi po ni Ma'am Ida, puro kasi mga babae ang nanonood. Ayan. Oh,
Well,
even
actually,
though,
yeah, majority of them, they are sigurado may parents siya, may father, may
yes,
brother,
yes,
may husband, isn't it? So,
yes. And your session is really very helpful, Doc, because at least we've learned so much from you, and we could observe our partners, especially to all our married viewers. We could observe our partners without them knowing, because we are aware and informed
mm,
by Doc Kraft what are the symptoms of this disease. Kasi po, just like what you have made mention, men do not really regard their health that much, di ba po? Unlike the women are more
yeah,
conscious, health
and
conscious.
more often than not, actually, nowadays they still believe it's some of these symptoms just natural for them.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
I saw in your last slide po the frequent urination.
Mhm.
It is caused by other diseases, not just the prostate.
Yes, we have this overactive bladder and other.
Yeah.
Some of patients are taking also diuretics for their hypertension.
Okay, so that is
Mhm.
also alarming and at the same time very informative. So, Doc, I know your patients are already waiting for you. You have obliged so much, and your generosity is simply amazing. We truly appreciate you, po, despite of
You're
your very
welcome.
hectic schedule. And ladies and gentlemen, he is a world-renowned resource speaker when it comes to this particular session. So we are truly blessed. SDO Angeles is truly blessed to have Doc Kraft with us. So, Doc, before we allow you to leave us, we will never allow you to leave us without presenting a small certificate.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Uh, thank you so much, Doc. Certificate of recognition po we will be presenting to you. Allow me to read the content po. Republic of the Philippines Department of Education, Schools Division of Angeles City, Jesus Street, Barangay Pulong-Bulo, Angeles City. Certificate of recognition is awarded to Dr. Rafael L. Lissing for being the resource speaker during the Health Forum on Prostate Cancer held on March 8, 2022 at DepEd Division of Angeles City. Given this 8th day of March 2022 at DepEd Division of Angeles City, Jesus Street, Pulumbulo, Angeles City. Signed by our very dear Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Maria Irene P. Tamayo. Doc Raf, thank you so much. We
My
truly
pleasure.
appreciate you
Welcome.
po. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so
Sana
much.
po hindi kayo madadala. Till we meet again, Doc Ralph.
Yeah, sure.
Maraming salamat po. Ayan. Matutuwa ang mga pasyente ni Doc. Ayan. Maraming salamat po kay Doc Ralph. I'm perfectly sure he enlightened everybody when it comes to this dreaded disease of men. bigyan po natin, pagtuunan po natin ng pansin ang mga kalalakihang mahal natin sa buhay. No po, dahil madalas po hindi sila nagpapatingin dahil feeling nila it's not really very important. But the best gift that you can give your loved ones nowadays is a healthy you, right? So let us now get over to our next session because just like what Ma'am Ida said, our viewers are mostly girls, so perhaps they're very excited to listen to our next topic, which is more on breast cancer. But before we give to you our next resource speaker, our resource speaker po is giving away, our next resource speaker is giving away freebies. He is giving away freebies to 10 viewers. So I think these freebies are pampaganda, pampaputi, at pampabata. O, diba? That is so amazing. So before we call in our resource speaker, and I'm perfectly sure all our viewers are very excited to receive these freebies from Doc Rowie. Kasi po kanina pa siya naka-in, pero let us have first our winners for this morning na po. We will be asking our viewers on SD DepEd Angeles official Facebook page. We will be asking you po to give a quotation on women empowerment because March 8 is, of course, Women's Day. And it's a Purple Tuesday because, kaya ako naka-purple. So we will be asking you po to give us quotations depicting women empowerment. So we will be selecting 10, 5 women and 5 men. Bakit po kasama ang men? Kasi ang women ay para sa men at ang men ay para sa women. Diba po? We will never survive without men in our lives because they are very important, especially the married ones. Okay po? So let us now call in or let us acknowledge our viewers who... Ayan. So Ma'am Arcely said, if you are going to give your quotation on women empowerment, please, before you say the quotation, kindly state your name and your school. Again po, I will repeat. Kindly state your name and your school. And when you claim your prize, please proceed to the SGOD office and look for either Ma'am Arcel or Ma'am VNC. So, okay po. So first, share. Oh, Ma'am Liza Maglalang. Blessed is a woman who fears the Lord. Ma'am Liza, can you share the school where you're from to take down po na. Ma'am Arcel, are you the one taking notes po or taking note of our winners? Our very first winner is Ma'am Liza Maglala. Okay, Ma'am Arcel, thank you. Ma'am Liza, can we know po the school where you're coming from? You can chat in, add in the quotation po the school. Ma'am Liza is our very first winner. Who else po? Ayan, Ma'am Lisa from Santo Rosario Elementary School. Oh, Santo. Ayan, dyan po ako nag-graduate ng elementary. Ma'am Lisa is from Santo Rosario Elementary School. Proud to be a Rosarian. And can you state the quotation again, Ma'am Lisa? Ma'am Lisa is from Santo Rosario Elementary School. Blessed is a woman who fears the Lord. That is so correct. No po, that is so correct. Ang galing naman. Ang ganda naman. Gusto ko yan. Ayan. Gusto ko yung mga kababaihang may takot kay Lord. Ayan. Thank you so much. Ma'am Lisa is our very first winner and she's going to receive a special token of love from Doc Rowie. It's a beauty product. Beauty product. So is she the only one that we have, Ma'am Arcel? Are we receiving some quotations on women empowerment? From Ma'am Carol J. Kamaya. Ma'am Carol is a principal po. Ma'am Carol says, a strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. That is so beautiful, Atika. That is so beautiful. Ma'am Carol po is coming from what school, Ma'am Ka? Kasi po I know dati po siya sa Santo Domingo Integrated School, but now I think she's no longer the principal of Santo Domingo. Where na po si Ma'am? Malabanyas. Ayan po, Malabanyas Integrated School. Okay, congratulations to Malabañas. I think they're the very first school to conduct the face-to-face. Congratulations, Atika from Malabañas Integrated School. Ma'am Ebuenga Emigrants. Ma'am Ebuenga, from what school po si ma'am? Empowering women is the key to building a future we want. Wow! Empowering women is the key to building a future we want. Because women nurture. Women will nurture the future. Okay. The future are the children, di ba po? Okay. Ma'am Jasmine Hernandez. Ma'am Jasmine is from Angeles Elementary School, my very beautiful kumare. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Perfectly said, my beautiful kumare. Ayan. A woman is like a tea bag. So, Ma'am Ebuenga is from Angeles City National Trade School. So, Ma'am Ida, Ma'am Arcel, how many winners do we have so far? I think they're all females. There 4. Ma'am Arcel said 4. So, we are still waiting for 6 more winners. Christy Diliwanag. Oh, Ma'am Christy is from Angeles City National Trade School. Ma'am Christy said, showing your smile to everyone or to others, even showing your smile to others, even you're struggling in your life, is a good strength of being a woman. To smile is to serve, to motivate, to inspire, to love, and to encourage people. To live with a purpose in life. Wow, that's so deep and lalim. Thank you so much, Ma'am Christy from Angeles City National Trade School. Even if you're struggling, you should be able to give your smile to everyone because that would mean a lot, especially to those who are undergoing special or critical stages in life. From Ma'am Bernita I. Cristobal from Bonifacio V. Romero High School. She said, but no matter how plain a woman may be, if truth and honesty are written across her face, she will be beautiful. Oh, ang galing naman. That's so sweet. That's so nice, Ma'am Ne. Ang galing. Ayan. And from Cheryl Ete, Gueco Balibago Elementary School. A woman's love will make the world go round. Oh, nice one. The best weapon a woman can use is love. Ayan, tama. Sir Emmy po ako, ma'am. Pang female lang talaga name. Oh, so sorry, ma'am. So sorry po. Pang female lang talaga name ko. So sorry. I wish I could meet you one time. Thank you so much po. Thank you so much po, Sir Emmy. Ayan. Ma'am Arcel, so far, how many winners do we have? They will be receiving special beauty products. I heard po, pampaganda, pampaputi, pampabanat. Narinig ko rin si Ma'am Arcel kanina, pampabanat, pampaalis ng age spots, sunspots, ano pa ba, pampakinis ng balat. So, beauty products po ang matatanggap ng ating mga winners for this morning. Oh, how blessed you are. And those beauty products are not just the over-the-counter products. They are from our very own resource speaker as well. No po? Signature products yan. So, they are tried and tested and they are hypoallergenic. So your skin is going to be really in good hands. Ayan po. So far we have 7 winners. We are waiting for 3 more. Ma'am Arcel, are we going to let Dr. Rowie in or we will be waiting for 3 more winners? I think 6 are ladies and 1 is a gentleman, right? Are we good? Do we have some more of our viewers who would like to give a quotation on women empowerment? So if we are no longer receiving, let us proceed to the meat and substance of our next session. Okay. So women nourishes a baby with these beautiful organs. So let us make this day a nourishing day for all our Juanas, our Gabrielas, our Diegas this morning. For our next session, my pride and my pleasure to introduce to you a very special resource speaker. Hindi siya nagbigay ng decorated na curriculum vitae. All she said was she is a health advocate. Pro-women po siya. She is an obstetrician gynecologist by profession. She also conducts free trainings for teachers, for women, and I believe just like Doc Raf, she also has her own special set of outreaches for the women who cannot afford to have their health be checked by a professional po, no? She also specialized in breast cancer. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I know every woman or every female viewer is very excited and anxious to hear and learn more about our resource speaker. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give to you the doctor is in Doc Rowie, Dr. Rowena B. Medina, gorgeous and brilliant.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Doc.
Good morning,
wow, so
ma'am.
fresh, refreshing. What a beautiful face in this hot morning.
Thank you po. Good morning for that. Thank you for that introduction. I'm really more of into cervical cancer advocacy, but since breast is still part of a woman's health, so that's why I'm giving in to this lecture. I just want to tell everyone that what I want to discuss with you is an overview of breast cancer. Usually, um, women will go to their obstetrician, their gynecologist, when they feel something on their breast before actually going to the surgeon. So, before kayo pumunta sa surgeon, usually sa mga OB niyo muna kayo pumupunta. So, what I'm going to discuss to you is the most basic and the most important things that you have to look after or to watch out for you to be able to prevent breast cancer. Okay, shall we start? So, before the myths and facts, let's start with the cancer is actually the third leading cause of morbidity and mortality in the Philippines. The leading cancer is actually lungs, second lung, breast, and then the third is cervix, followed by the liver, the colon, the rectum, the prostate, the stomach, and the oral cavity, and leukemia. Now, of that, 189 of every 100,000 Filipinos are afflicted with cancer. It's quite common. So, and while 4 Filipinos will die of cancer every hour, or 96 cancer patients every day, according to a study conducted by the University of the Philippines, Institute of Human Genetics, and National Institutes of Health. Breast cancer is the most common cancer among women in the Philippines. According to the Philippine Statistics of Authority and the Department of Health, it shows that 3 in every 100 Filipino women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Can you show me I wanted to start with what is cancer. Can we start with the slide that shows what is cancer before we go with the myths and the facts? Before the cause, what is cancer? Let's start with what is cancer. The next one. So, the next one. Here, cancer actually occurs as a result of mutations or abnormal changes in the genes that is responsible for regulating the growth of the cells and keeping them healthy. Now, the cells in our bodies replace themselves through an orderly process of cell growth. Healthy new cells take over as old ones die out. But over time, the mutations can turn on certain genes and they turn off others in a cell. That changed cell gains the ability to keep dividing without control or order, thus producing more cells just like it and forming a tumor. Now, what is cancer? A cancer can be benign. Yun yung hindi, pag narinig nyo yung benign na word, it means it's not dangerous to health. And these tumors are cancerous, and thus, if they are left unchecked, they become malignant and eventually can spread even beyond the original tumor. Like for example, pag nag-start yan, kaya we ask where's the primary, we look for the primary cause of cancer, because sometimes the cancer is in the breast, that's the primary, but it goes to the other parts of the body, or it metastasizes, so it goes to the brain, it goes to the liver, it goes to the bones. So kaya it goes out of control and goes to the other parts of your body. Can you show the slide with the breast cancer, with the picture of the breast, please? There. If you look at this picture, the term breast cancer actually refers to the malignant tumor that has developed from the cells in the breast. So you initially have a normal cell, and then this cell mutates and become a breast cancer and becomes a tumor. So the normal cell, for example, these lobules are normal cells of the breast, and they become distorted. Once they become distorted, it shows from your skin na parang dimpling. Alam niyo parang yung dimple malalim. Pero ito, dimpling na maliliit na parang tuldok-tuldok sa inyong skin. That's what you will see on certain portions of your breast. So that is already suspicious, and you have to go to your doctor to get that tested if that is not cancer. The tentacles from the tumor actually passes up into the fat layers or the breast of the breast, causing the dimpling of the skin or yung surface ng skin. Next slide, please. What causes breast cancer? Now, breast cancer is always caused by a genetic abnormality. When we say genetic abnormality, it is actually a mistake in the genetic material. Only 5 to 10% of cancers are due to an abnormality inherited from your mother or father. So about 90% of breast cancers are due to genetic abnormalities that happen as a result of aging, so wear and tear of life in general. Kaya that's why you see most cancers occurs at a certain age. Yung habang tumatanda ka, dun naglalabasan yung mga cancer cells sa'yo. So it's a wear and tear process. Next slide. So what are the facts that you have to know about breast cancer? It is the second leading cause of death, and it is the second most common cancer. As we said, the first one is lungs. The incidence increases with age. Now, all women are at risk. If it doesn't mean that if you don't have a family that have breast cancer, it doesn't, or your mother or your sister or your father doesn't have breast cancer, it doesn't mean that you are not at risk for cervical cancer. Just by being a woman, you already have a risk factor for breast cancer. Next slide. What are the symptoms that you have to watch out for if you have breast cancer? A lump. It's always a lump, a thickening in the breast or in the armpit area. So it's not just in the breast. You have to look at the beside your breast that goes up to your armpits. Changes in the color of your skin or your breast, the areola, the nipple, dimpling, scaling. Minsan yung itsura niya parang nagbabakbak, nagsiscale, maputi na nagbabakbak. Basta your skin is supposed to be smooth. If there's a sudden change, especially a sudden change in the skin discoloration and scaling, you have to get it checked. Another one is if your nipple suddenly becomes retracted or inverted. There are certain people who naturally have an inverted nipple. But if you don't have that and then suddenly bigla na lang inverted yung nipple mo, then you have to get that checked also. And then if you try to press your nipple and then there's a discharge coming out from your nipple, either blood or any other liquid that is coming out from your nipple, then that's also a symptom of breast cancer. Next slide, please. Well, the risk factor. Let's talk about the risk factor for breast cancer. Before the stages of breast cancer. Next. This one. Let's talk about this one. Tumor sizes are often measured in millimeters or in centimeters. So when you do your palpation, this one is supposed to be shown when I will teach you how to do the breast exam. But if you do your breast exam, you have to remember so that when you describe it to your doctors, this is, since you're teachers, this is, I think, a very good slide for you to remember. So the common tumor size, if it's a sharp, like a pencil point, it's 1 millimeter. If it's a new crayon point, it's 2 millimeter. If it's a pencil top eraser, that's 5 millimeter. And if it's a pea size, it's 10 millimeter. A peanut, 20 millimeter, and a lime, a 50 millimeter. So when you describe the lump that you were able to palpate, so you can use this one to be able to describe to your doctor, so that you'll know the size of the lump. Okay, next slide, please. So this one, a risk factor is anything that increases your risk of developing breast cancer. Many of the most important risk factors for breast cancer are beyond your control, like your age, your family history, your medical history, but there are also some risk factors that you can control, especially this one, your weight, your physical activity, and your alcohol consumption. So your lifestyle, you can do something about it so that you will lower your risk for breast cancer or any other cancers as well, because most of the other cancers are also related, or the risk factors are also with regards to your weight and your activity and other alcoholic consumption. Next slide. So there is when we talk about the gender, it's more females that have a risk factor for breast cancer, but males have 1% chances of having a breast cancer. With races, it is more common in whites. And age, as the woman gets older, or even the men as they grow older, then the risk for cancer is higher. But if your mother or your sister has breast cancer, then your risk factor is much higher than the general population. Now, for menstrual history, kung mas maaga ka nag-mens, early onset, or mas late kang nag-mens, your risk factor for breast cancer is higher, mainly because of the prolonged exposure to estrogen. It's really the hormone estrogen that has a factor with your menstrual history for the risk of breast cancer. And with childbirth, if your first child is after the age of 30, or having no child at all, increases your risk for breast cancer. As you know, if you get pregnant, your estrogen becomes lower. Thus, it's almost the same as the early onset of menstruation and the late menopause. So it's still estrogen. So pregnancy and breastfeeding are actually protective against breast cancer. Next slide. Now, this one, the things that we can control, your obesity, fats, your subcutaneous fats actually converts, that fat is being converted to estrogen. So again, if you're obese, you have a lot of estrogen, so you'll have a higher risk for breast cancer. Diet, taking in a lot of fats and alcohol, lack of physical activity, all cancers actually increases uh, the risk if you are stressed. So as you know, stress lowers the immune system. So if your immune system is low, you are stressed, and then your chances of uh, getting cancer, whatever, or disease is high. Radiation exposure also is a risk factor for breast cancer. History of cancer like breast, uterus, cervix, or ovary. So it doesn't only mean that if your family has breast cancer, that's the only cancer that you are at risk at. Uh, Even if you have uterus cancer, cervical cancer, ovary, sometimes your mom has ovarian cancer, then could be that your sister will have a breast cancer and then the other one with uterus. There are patients who have all of this cancer, even if, for example, they already had breast cancer before and in remission, and then after a few years they will develop naman cervical cancer. It happens. So hormones, again, estrogen. So hormonal replacement therapies like and birth controls will increase your risk of breast cancer. Genetics, there are certain conditions that are inherited that makes you at a higher risk for breast cancer. But 70% of those who develop breast cancer have actually no risk factors at all. Now, for men, what are the risk factors for men? High levels of estrogen due to, next slide please, due to cirrhosis. So, who are the male who will develop cirrhosis? Those who drink a lot. So alcohol consumption. So and other men who are actually treating prostate cancer are taking estrogen related drugs, and this actually makes them at risk to have breast cancer. Exposure to radiation, over the age of 60, high alcohol consumption, obese, inherited gene mutations, and family history of breast cancer in males. These are the risk factors for men. Next slide. Now, how do we prevent breast cancer? So awareness is always the best prevention. So if you are aware of what are the risk factors for breast cancer, then you will be able to prevent it, because most of the cancers, when they are detected earlier, then you have better survival rates. So we have more interventions, so and we have a lot of surgeons and oncologists that can help you to to for an early detection and prevention and treatment of breast cancer. These are the risk factors that can be controlled, like obesity, not having children, breastfeeding, alcohol, exercise for you to be not obese, and hormonal replacement therapy. But us as gynecologists, we already stopped giving hormonal replacements. Before this was rampant, or left and right, we give hormonal replacement for menopause patients. But now we try to shy away from it because of the risk for breast cancer. So for the diagnosis of breast cancer, I'll show you some pictures of how it looked like. Next slide, please. So ito, if you can see, if you will look at the pictures, iba-iba yung itsura. But the most common is the lump. Yung mafe-feel mo from your examination, the lump. So this one, the stages is quite high already. So don't let it happen na yung breast nyo, may konting breast na lang, puro bukol na lang. So you have to do your breast examination and to be aware of your body. Look at the mirror when you take a shower, you observe yourself, uh, para ma-prevent. Because it's only you who can really diagnose it early, or you can get this, you can prevent this one by being aware of your body. Next slide. Next. So a good breast examination, the good breast health plan is what we call the breast BSE, or the breast self-examination. It's a self-awareness. Ikaw ang gagawa nito. Monthly self-examination. And the other one is the clinical breast examination, which is done by your doctors or your nurses. And the other one is the mammogram. But for us, we also do ultrasound. So we call it sonomammogram. So ultrasound plus mammogram. Next. Don't be afraid. How do you do the breast self-exam? So this is very important. You have the opportunity to become familiar with your breast. You have to do the monthly breast exam all the way to your underarm area. You may discover, and if you do your regular breast exam, then you will discover changes early. When do you do this? As early as 20 years old, you can already do your self breast examination, and then do it monthly. Next slide, please. So when do you do your breast self-examination? Remember this one. So this is the only thing that you don't have to go to your doctor. Kung kaya nyo na tong gawin, kahit di muna kayo pumunta sa doctor. Kasi kung wala naman, wala kayong mafe-feel, hindi nyo kailangan pumunta. So when you're menstruating, count 5 days after your menstruation, and then that's the time that you will do your breast exam. And then for the menopausal women, because there's no more menstruation that you have to follow, you have to mark, just do it on the same date every month. That's the time that you will do your breast self-examination. And for pregnant women, because remember, even if you're pregnant, it doesn't mean that you don't have breast cancer. Kasi pwede, you already had the lump before and you did not observe it and you did not know it. Kaya dapat, kahit pregnant ka, you have to do self-breast examination as well. You do it on the same date each month, same as the menopausal. Now, it should take about 10 minutes. Perform breast examination at least once a month and examine all breast tissue. Okay, usually you do it either while you're taking a shower or at bed at night pag nakahiga ka. Next slide. So this is the picture of ito, isa-isa. So lie down, you can do it lying down, and put your left arm under your head and use your right hand to examine your left breast with your three middle finger flat. Then move it gently, circular motion over your entire breast, checking any lump. Pwedeng hard, pwedeng light, pwedeng medium, and pwedeng medyo firm. Depende kung ano yung kaya mo na pressure na gamitin mo sa yung breast. Then you have to switch and do it on the other side. Now, you can also do it when you're standing down after doing the self-breast exam. Stand up in front of the mirror and look at your breast and look for lumps, differences, swelling, dimpling, sore redness. And then also you raise your hand, and then so that you can check your arms for lumps. So actually armpits, hanggang doon, i-check ninyo yung armpits ninyo for lumps. Now, after that, you squeeze your nipple, each breast on your thumb and your index finger, and then report for any fluids that will come out. So the next is a clinical breast exam. Clinical breast exam is performed by your doctor. So we do the same thing. When do you do your clinical breast exam? Usually you do it on the age 40. And then at least every 3 years for women 20 to 40 years old. Pag 40 years old ka na, annually, ibig sabihin, once a year po, you have to go to your doctor, your obstetrician, or your surgeon. So, isabay nyo na yun doon sa pap smear nyo. Yung exam na yan. So, usually, yun ang pinagsasabay. Pap smear, for cervical cancer, and then breast exam. Now, more frequent if you are at a higher risk for cervical cancer, if you have those risk factors that we have mentioned before. Now, what is a mammogram? Next slide, please. What is a mammogram? So a mammogram is just a test. It can actually save a lot of lives. Kasi by just breast exam, pwedeng hindi mo ma-feel, hindi ka marunong or hindi mo nakuha eksakto, but the mammogram will catch it. So normal mammogram does not actually, yung data, sinasabi na yung very useful siya for age 40 to 49 years old. Kaya yun yung advice age kung kailan ka magpapa-mammogram, 40 years old. Okay, but if you get a negative mammogram result, like if they say that it is normal, it doesn't mean na wala kang possibility na magka-cancer. Hindi. That's why you do it, you repeat it, and then you mix it with your clinical breast examination and your ultrasound. Sometimes, nakita sa ultrasound, hindi nakita sa mammogram. Minsan, nakita sa mammogram, hindi nakita sa ultrasound. That's why we recommend sonomammogram. Next. Women who are asymptomatic, 40 years of age, should get mammogram every year. So, the average size of lumps, next. The average size lump found by women when you're doing your breast examination is already this big, as you can see in the slide. And the one that is going to be screened or by your doctor or by your self-examination by a doctor, ganyang size din. So, habang ang mas ibig sabihin lang nitong slide na to is that the mammogram can actually catch a smaller size of the lump. Thus, you can get it earlier, detect it earlier, and you can go to your surgeon to get it biopsied and to get it to get more studies. Okay, next slide. Let's go to the myths and facts. Next slide. No, the myths and facts. Let's go to the myths and facts. Mabilis na lang, short na lang po ito. Touching your breast too often will lead to cancer. That's not true. Talking about cancer causes cancer. That's not true. Using illegal drugs causes cancer. Herbs cure breast cancer. A bruise on your breast will lead to breast cancer. If an incision is made during breast cancer surgery, the cancer will spread. That's why others won't have their surgery because sabihin nila, pag naoperahan ka, lalo kang magkaka-cancer. That's not true. Getting too many mammograms can lead to breast cancer. Hindi din po totoo yan. Mammograms are only used to evaluate breast lumps. You don't have to have the breast lump to get the mammogram. The mammogram is a screening ba para po ma-monitor ng earlier yung breast nyo, pwede pa rin kahit wala kang lump na nafe-feel, pwede ka pa rin magpa-mammogram. Kaya nga po, we recommend at age 40, you get your mammogram. Next, please. Breast cancer only affects older women. No, that's not true. And if you have a risk factor for breast cancer, you'll likely get the disease. Actually, no. If you have a risk factor, it's not 100% that you will get breast cancer. Using antiperspirants causes breast cancer. That's a myth. A breast cancer diagnosis is an automatic death sentence. Don't be too scared if your doctor will tell you that you have breast cancer. Breast cancer is preventable. With the technology that we have right now, with the medicines that we have right now, the skills of the doctors that we have right now, you can actually beat breast cancer. But the most important thing is awareness so that we can prevent it. Next slide. So actually, that's about it. The last slide, please. So this lecture is dedicated to all those who lost the fight and to those who won't quit the fight. So do not quit the fight. As empowered women. We should take it and straight face it, and just pray and follow the recommendations of your doctors. Do not be afraid to go to your doctor and seek consult. That's why they're experts. That's why we have them. It's for them to help you and guide you um, to this battle. So thank you, and I'm hoping that you will share this, and you will teach your children, your friends, your family, your mother, your sister, on the things that you have learned today. So very basic, and just have to be conscious of your body, and don't be afraid, and wait for it to uh, be on a later stage, because cancer, when detected early, and even if they say it's cancer, pero yung stage is nasa lower stage pa, then pwede pong totally mawala ang cancer nyo. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc Rowie. That is so beautiful. That is so enlightening. Nakakatuwa naman po. Ano po, nabusog po kami sa umagang ito. That is a very substantial session. Especially in my case, I have a set of special friends who I've lost to this dreadful disease. Ano po. They are now with the Lord. I'm perfectly sure they are happier there. But of course, sabi nga ni Doc Rowie, this is a battle that we cannot win over. We can be victorious against breast cancer and cervical cancer. We'd like to inform our viewers as well that Doc Rowie actually conducted a free cervical screening test in 2018 to all teachers of the SDO Angeles. Di ba po, Doc? We are so grateful for that outreach that you made. And if you have any questions po with regards to breast cancer, and if you would like to ask about cervical cancer, Doc Rowie, is it okay if we will be entertaining some questions about cervical cancer as well, though your talk is purely on breast cancer? Because these two topics are your specialties.
Sure, ma'am. We can entertain a few questions naman.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And we would like also to extend our gratitude to Doc Rowie because, ma'am, or Doc, 7 women already won earlier special prizes from the bottom of your heart because Ma'am Arcel said you actually gave 10 special beauty products to 10 special viewers. We were supposed to give 5 prizes to 5 women viewers and 5 to male viewers. However, our viewers are dominantly females because this is Women's Day, understandably.
Sige, ma'am, we'll see with what we can do because we have some products. As you know, I'm an ambassador of Beauty Derm products.
Wow!
Beauty Derm is actually our partner din sa DepEd. It's just that nagkaroon ng pandemic hindi natin natuloy yung mga projects natin with Ma'am Rhea Tan, but malapit na, ma'am, malapit na matuloy na rin, at saka continue natin yung cancer screening natin kasi marami pang hindi na screen na mga teachers natin kasi medyo nag-close ang hospital, but hopefully this year tutuloy pa rin po natin yung project natin sa mga teachers natin to screen for cervical cancer with our Women's Health Advocate Group.
Wow, that's good news. Doc Rowie, what can you suggest or what can you advise our female colleagues who are scared or afraid to have their breast checked or to have their cervix checked? What can you suggest or what can you advise to them po?
I think the best is look for a doctor that you can trust. Yung makakausap nyo, hindi kayo mahihiya, hindi kayo matatakot na magtanong at saka sabihin yung ano nyo. It's really lang naman kasi parang kailangan gawin nila para sa family nila, para sa
Correct.
children nila. Kasi pag hindi na-detect yan, tapos po naging cancer, yung cost of chemotherapy and surgery, compared dun sa nagpunta sila at nagpa-check sa isang maliit na
Yes.
bukol na doubtful sila at na-prevent yun, mas lesser yung burden na kesa dun sa takot lang or sa takot kasi masakit or takot kasi medyo magastos. Mas magastos kasi po yung cancer therapy kesa sa
Correct.
prevention ng check-up lang.
Correct. Surgery and linear therapy. That is obscene, di ba po? It can cost you so much. Thank you so much, Doc, for that enlightening message to all our female colleagues who are scared to have their breast checked or to have their cervix checked. No po? Ma'am Nay said, thank you po, Doc Roy, for this very insightful talk. You don't know how much you've touched our colleagues, Doc Roy. Aside from giving us your precious time, you have your patients with you, but still you opted to spend this very beautiful Women's Day to all our fellow teachers, even the non-teaching person of SDO Angeles. No po? Ma'am Lisa also said, thank you so much, Doc. And Doc Roy, earlier po, there are 3 more teachers who gave a beautiful women empowerment codes. Please allow me po to read them so that they could receive their special token of love from you. Ma'am Agnes Alvarado said, Ma'am Agnes po is from what school? Kindly include po your school so that we can acknowledge your school as well. And proceed to God office and look for Ma'am Arcel or Ma'am V for your special beauty products. Sabi po ni Ma'am Agnes, in every man's success is a woman. Oh, that's so cute. That's so nice. Do you agree with that, Doc Rowie?
Kailangan equality kasi, di ba? No? So dapat in every woman's success also there's a man ba? So,
yeah, vice versa. Yeah. And Ma'am Karen Coronel, from what school po si Ma'am Karen? Ma'am Karen said, every success of every woman should be an inspiration to another. We are strongest when we cheer each other on. That's so nice. That's so nice. Removing the crab mentality among women. Let's lift each other up, push each other up instead of tearing us down. Okay. Ma'am Edith Carion Gonzalez said, a woman ignites change. That's true. That's true. In as much as her smile can launch 1,000 ships, she can also ignite change. Trailblazers of change nga po tayo na po. So that is it. Okay, so do we have more? Our special resource speaker, fellow viewers, our special resource speaker for this morning is very generous, and she's going to entertaining. She will be entertaining some questions about breast cancer and cervical cancer. Do not be afraid po to ask because this is your moment. Just like what they have made mentioned earlier, bukas po or mamaya may bayad na. So let us take advantage of this moment with Doc Rowie, so that we could have at least clear the cobwebs of doubt if we have doubts. If we have feelings of if we are not sure of what we have in our breast, this is your moment to ask Dr. Rowie for free. Don't be scared po and don't be shy. And who knows, your question might be the question of other viewers as well who are shy and afraid. So go shoot your question po while we have the privilege of having Dr. Rowie in the meet or strip yard. To all our viewers who tune in late, a blessed morning po. This is a Purple Tuesday because we are celebrating International Women's Day. And earlier po, Doc Rob talked about prostate cancer. And today we have Doc Rowie, gorgeous, because she is a beauty ambassador. Kaya naman pala she distributed beauty products to all our brilliant viewers. I think only 1 is a male, Doc Rowie, and 9 are females. So they will be receiving, sabi po namin kanina, they will be receiving special tokens of love from Doc Rowie. Pampaganda, pampakinis, pampaputi, at pampabata. So congratulations to all our winners po. Please do drop by at SGod office and look for Ma'am Arcel or Ma'am V for your prizes. Do we have questions po? Don't be shy po while we have Doc Rowie in the meet.
So, ibig sabihin, naintindihan nilang mabuti kaya wala silang questions.
And earlier po
Anyway, if
kasi,
they have, I think naman, ma'am, if they really have questions, they could really, it's about time that they try to look for a doctor that they can trust, and actually ask all the questions that they want. So, trust your doctors lang po. And we have a lot of good doctors here in Angeles City. They don't have to go anywhere else. We even have public hospitals that have good doctors. Kaya they just have to, so hindi na rin po reason na walang pera, walang pambayad. You can either go to a private doctor or our doctors in our government hospitals that
yeah,
can
you have
provide
many
good
options.
that are very good doctors po.
Yes, and our public hospitals, may I say po, they also offer quality service, right po? Quality medical service because we have the facilities already and our good doctors are there already, having their clinics there. Doc Rowie, may I ask po, what can you suggest or advise to our colleagues who resort to, I don't have anything against quack doctors na po. I don't have anything against our albularyo's, our they are, but what can you suggest po to all our female colleagues who instead of dropping by at a clinic or a hospital with professionals with experience and educational background on on the sickness, they resort to going to our very friendly quack doctors kung sasabihin na po natin, mga
Yeah.
albularyo po.
I think even quack doctors ask for payment. So, instead of paying sa mga quack doctors, they might as well use that money to go to the real doctors na ano. So, para kesa magsisi sila. So, sometimes the medicines that they give, even those herbal medicines, has an effect on their body. So, minsan sa kidney, nagkaka-problem sila. So, iba nga yung sakit nila, kung ano-ano yung ininom nila, binigay sa kanila. Tapos, yung ibang part naman ng body nila yung tatamaan. So, it's better really to just go to your doctor and specific doctor na for your specific disease or concern.
Okay. So you mean doc faith healers as we call them. It's really the faith. It's really the faith that will heal you. You should have faith on your doctor, no po ba? What about the herbals? You have made mention, doc, that herbal medicines also have side effects. So sabi po kasi nila kapag herbal medicine wala namang side effects.
Not
So that is not
therapeutic
really
effects
true.
po sila.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ma'am Carol said, some say po that if a member of family such as your mother died of cervical cancer, it is true that the daughter will also be prone to have a cancer as well, like that?
Your children will get the genes, actually have the genes na for cancer kasi nga they will have the risk factor if a certain family member already have a cancer. So in general, but not automatically na kung cervical cancer namatay yung nanay, yung anak magkaka-cervical cancer din. So hindi po yun. There are other risk factors para magkaroon sila ng cervical cancer, and family history is just one.
So it's like genetic, no po. Doc Rowie, Ma'am Lisa said, or she is actually asking, where is your clinic located po?
I have my clinic at AUFMC and at FastMed Diagnostic Laboratory and in the U at Centrale Diagnostic also.
Wow. And your beauty products po, where are they available if you don't mind me asking?
Promo talaga ng Beautyderm. Beautyderm po, Beautyderm products. She's our partner. Okay? Every time that we have certain activities, she usually give some products for us to give away. And hopefully soon, mas bigger projects ang pwede niyang i-share sa atin.
Thank you so much po for that. Do we have any more questions, reactions with regard to the topic discussed by Doc Rowie? It is indeed in detail. Po. Thank you so much po. You really prepared for this session, ma'am. Thank you so much po. Thank you, Doc. If we do we have any more questions, Ma'am Ida, Ma'am Arcel? Those who are tuned in to our Facebook Live, Deb and SEO Angeles official Facebook page, do you see some questions there po? So if you don't have any more questions, should we call it a day po? Let us grab this opportunity, take advantage of this moment while we still have Doc Rowie. Sabi nga po natin kanina, mamaya may bayad na. Pag nag-clinic na si Doc, may bayad na. Tama po, Doc Rowie? And we appreciate you po. You have so many outreaches as well for the young women, and yung pong pagkakonduct ng free cervical screen test, napakalaking bagay po.
Yeah, we have partnership with Sacred Heart Hospital. That's where we do our colposcopy. Yung mga nasi-screen namin for cervical cancer, dun po natin sila ginagawa.
And sabi din po ni Doc Rowie kanina, awareness is always the best prevention. Ignorance is not an excuse. In short, ignorance is not an excuse. If you get sick, that's your fault. Because you should be aware, di ba po? Sabi po ni Sir Dennis Bautista, hello po, Doc Rowie. Ask ko lang po, possible din po ba na magkaroon ng ma-develop ng breast cancer ang lalaki po? Thank you po and God bless. Doc Rowie?
Yeah, I think we answered that. I discussed that before. If yung men are also at risk for breast cancer, especially if they have if they're taking estrogen treatment for prostate cancer or those who have cirrhosis.
Yeah.
Pwede pa rin.
Did Doc Rowie answer your question, Sir Dennis? So if you don't have any more questions, we would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to Doc Rowie for spending this beautiful moment with us. Your time is so precious, but yet you opted to be with us. Ma'am Ida, can we have the certificate of recognition for Doc Rowie po? Doc Rowie, we will not allow you to leave without presenting this simple token of love from SDO Angeles. It's just a simple certificate, the content of which I shall now read. Please allow me po. Republic of the Philippines Department of Education, Schools Division of Angeles City, Jesus Street, Barangay Pulong-Bulu, Angeles City. Certificate of recognition is awarded to Rowena B. Medina, Dr. Rowena B. Medina, for being the resource speaker during the Health Forum on Breast Cancer held on March 8, 2022 at DepEd Division of Angeles City, given this 8th day of March 2022 at DepEd Division of Angeles City, Jesus Street, Pulong-Bulu, Angeles City. Signed by our very dear Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Maria Irene P. Tamayo. Doc Rowie, thank you ever so much for your precious time and for extending and sharing your brilliance na po. Nawala po ang takot namin actually sa mga advice niyo po sa amin. Indeed, it is a very substantial and meaningful Purple Tuesday.
Thank you,
Maraming salamat po. More power to you, Doc Rowie. Stay beautiful.
Thank you po.
Always. Keep safe po, Doc. Thank you po. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very beautiful Purple Tuesday. It was not only beneficial for our female, but also for our male colleagues, both teaching and non-teaching person of SDO Angeles. Indeed, SDO Angeles has your health and wellness in mind when they thought of crafting this beautiful Women's Day celebration. They did not only focus on the welfare of the women, but they also focus on the welfare of the men. Discussing these two special topics. We have lost so many lives. We have lost so many brilliant teachers due to this two dreadful disease. And we cannot allow anyone, we cannot lose anymore. We cannot lose any brilliant teacher to this disease anymore. So just like what our two resource speakers have made mention, prevention is indeed better than cure. And awareness is the best prevention. So before we part ways this beautiful Tuesday morning, the Philippine Commission on Women and DepEd Angeles invite advocates of women's rights to sport purple clothes or accessories every Tuesday to show their support and join the call to advance women's rights and gender equality and end discrimination against women. Let us continue to make change work for women. And of course, just like what we have said, early detection and preventive measures are the key. enable yourself to enjoy spending more time with your loved ones. The best gift that you can give them is a healthy you. So we have our evaluation link. It's going to be flashed in your screen. So please do not forget to accomplish our evaluation link for this very beautiful Tuesday morning. On behalf of SDO Angeles, before I leave your side, do we have any more parting words, Ma'am Arcel, Ma'am Ida, before we allow this meet to end? Are we good? So don't forget po to answer our evaluation link after viewing our FB Live. Ano po? So on behalf of SDO Angeles, this has been your moderator for this morning, Marcela Jinko from Angeles Elementary School, saying thank you ever so much. Have a gorgeous, empowered, and vibrant Women's Day. Mabuhay ang mga Juana! Mabuhay po kayong lahat. Maraming salamat po. Keep safe and have a blissful day ahead. God bless everybody. Mwah!